Hello students, welcome back with the same chapter, some basic concepts in chemistry. Okay, so we were discussing about the mole concept and we have also discussed the Avogadro's law. So now today we'll start with the topic chemical formulas. Chemical formula. So all of you know how to make chemical formulas from your previous class, that is in 9th standard you have learned how to make the formulas. Okay, for that what is required? Valencies. Valencies of ions is required. Okay, that cations, simple cation, simple anion, complex cation and complex anion. For example, I will not more focus on this because you already know. Fine, so let's consider a few examples. Suppose if we want to write the formula of calcium nitrate. Okay, we'll write calcium first, then nitrate we know, then its valency. Okay, then crisscross. You know what's the formula now. Calcium nitrate. Fine. So let's see the second one. Second is, let's say, magnesium chloride. So magnesium, then chlorine, plus 2 minus 1 gives you MgCl2. Okay. Let's take sodium phosphate. Phosphate you know, PO4, sodium, Na plus 1 minus 3 gives you crisscross, Na3, PO. So like this you know how to make formulas. For that only valencies of ions is required. If you know the valencies well and good, then you have to, you can easily make the formula of any compound. Okay. So now let's start with the next topic which is related with this only. Okay, so let's see how to calculate the percentage composition of the elements present in the compound. Percentage composition What is percentage composition? It means of elements we have to calculate. Okay, percentage composition of a compound is the relative mass of each of the constituent in 100 parts of it by its mass. Okay, so let's see what is percentage composition. Percentage composition of the compound is the relative mass of the elements, of the relative mass of each of the constituent elements present in 100 parts of it by mass. Okay, now what's the meaning of this? 100 parts of it by mass. So for this what is required? Molecular mass is required. If we see the formula, it's a relative. Why relative mass? Because we will be comparing with its molecular mass. That's why it's relative mass of the constituent element. For example, let's consider calcium carbonate. Okay. Now you have to find out the mass of calcium, mass of the carbon and mass of the oxygen, because these are the constituting elements with which it is made up of. So you have to calculate the percentage mass of, what's your question? Calculate percentage mass of calcium. Okay, so for that what is required? You require the atomic mass of calcium, then molar mass or molecular mass of the whole compound, calcium carbonate. So what is the formula? If we see the general formula, percentage composition is equal to mass of an element divided by molecular mass of the compound. So whatever percentage you want to calculate of any constituting element, you apply this formula and then you can easily calculate. Okay, you will get the percentage of that compound, percentage of that element in the given compound. So let's see, let's calculate for this. Okay, so this is a formula. Let's apply to the compound. Calcium nitrate. Okay. So what is calcium nitrate? The formula is required. So all of you should know how to make the formulas, as I already told you. Fine. So let's calculate percentage of calcium in this compound. So atomic mass of calcium divided by its molecular mass of calcium nitrate. So for that you just calculate. How you will calculate molecular mass? By adding all the atomic masses, because it is the sum of all the atomic masses. So calculate molecular mass of calcium nitrate, okay, is equal to atomic mass of calcium plus atomic mass of nitrogen, 2 into plus, because 2 is there, so 2 into plus 3 into atomic mass of oxygen. Substitute all the values. You know calcium is 40 plus nitrogen 14 plus oxygen is 16. Solve this, then you will get the value 164. Okay. Sorry, oxygen is 2 3 is 6. 6 are there. You will get the value 164 unified mass. Okay, U indicates unified mass. Fine. Now calculate percentage of calcium. Atomic mass is 40 divided by total is 164. When you will solve this, you will get the percentage 24.39. Okay, into 100, 24.39%. This is the formula. Similarly, calculate for oxygen and then nitrogen. In this way, you have to calculate the percentage composition. Why we are learning this? Because we have to use this percentage composition in the next concept. Okay. So that's why we are studying the percentage composition, and it's very important also how to know about the percentage of that particular element in the given compound. Similarly, you can calculate for oxygen and then for nitrogen. Okay, so let's calculate for oxygen and nitrogen. Percentage of nitrogen in this compound is equal to, nitrogen is 14 divided by 164. Okay, so how many nitrogens are present? 2. 164. Solve this, what you will get? You will get the answer when you will solve this, 17.07%. Then percentage of oxygen, 3 into 16, 164 into 100. When you will solve this, you will get the value 58.54. So these are the percentage composition of all these elements in this compound. So total you will find it's 100%. Okay, total is 100%. So these are the composition of this. That calcium is this much present, nitrogen is this much present. That's why it's the relative mass of the constituting elements in 100 parts of it by mass. Which mass? It's atomic mass. Is it clear? Okay. I hope I am clear till here. Now let's start with the new topic related to this. Now as we are talking about the chemical formula. So what is the formula basically? What do you understand by formula and what is the significance of that? Okay, formula. In mathematics also you are learning so many formulas. So what formula gives? What is the significance of it? So in chemistry, the chemical formula represent what? It represents the brief notation of the compound in terms of its symbols. In terms of symbols. Or you can say shorthand notation or way to represent the compounds. Every time instead of writing calcium sulfate, calcium chloride, again and again writing in this way. That's why it's a brief notation or brief representation of the compounds in terms of its symbols. Or you can say it's a symbolic way of representing the compounds. For example, say zinc carbonate. So instead of writing zinc carbonate, we'll write ZnCO3. Okay, copper nitrate. Instead of writing again this, we will write copper nitrate. Like this. So this is the meaning of the chemical formula. Now chemical formula, it is of two types. Let's see what are the two types. Okay. So let's learn about the chemical formulas. It is of two types. First is empirical formula. And the second is molecular formula that you already know. Now let's learn what is empirical formula. Molecular formula that we have seen right now. Calcium carbonate, calcium sulfate. All these are the molecular formula of the compound. Okay. Now let's see what is the difference between the two. Okay, so let's understand. For example, if I'll consider, let's say benzene. All of you know what is benzene. C6H6. Fine. If I'll take H2O2, it's hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide. Fine. So take 6 common from here, but you will get CH. Okay, and the ratio is what? 1:1. Here also take common, 2 common, but you will get HO. So what's the ratio? 1:1. Similarly, let's take the example of glucose. This is your glucose. Take 6 common, but you will get CH2O. What's the ratio? 1:2:1. Okay. So these things, the compounds, or you can say these are the molecular formulas of the compound. And when you have taken the common out of it, you are getting this formula. Only you are getting simplest ratio of that. Okay, so what is the difference? From the empirical formula, you only come to know about the elements. That these are the elements which are present. But the exact number of the element you will not come to know. That how many carbons are there, how many hydrogens are there. That you will come to know about the molecular formula. Are you getting? This is only the just simple, you can say the simplest form of the molecular formula. Simplest form of the formula is the empirical formula. That is the, you can say that empirical formula for compound is defined as the simplest ratio of the atoms of various elements present in it. Simplest ratio. Okay, but here it is the exact ratio, exact number of atoms you know. See, you can say that in benzene, 6 atoms are present of carbon, 6 of hydrogen, but here you don't know how many atoms are there. So it's just the empirical formula. Only indicates that these are the elements which are present in their simplest ratio. Okay, and they possess this ratio or bears this ratio. Similarly, hydrogen peroxide, if you will write HO, this is only empirical formula, only indicating that hydrogen peroxide contains hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, then for glucose, you will find that CH2 is the simplest unit. You will come to know that it contains carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, simplest elements. Fine, but how many are present in exact number, that you will not come to know with the help of empirical formula. So this is the meaning. You can say that what's the major difference? This gives the exact number of atoms present in the molecule. This only gives the simplest ratio of the atoms of the various elements present in the given formula. Okay. So I hope I am clear that what is empirical and what is molecular formula. So now let's see its definition and then how they both are related to each other. For few compounds you will find empirical and molecular formula is same, because there no, can say, we can't take out anything common from that. Okay, so what is this? This formula, it is a formula of a compound which gives a simple whole number ratio of various of the atoms of various elements present in the compound. Okay, present in, you can say that, one molecule of the compound. And this will give you the exact. Definition will remain the same, only instead of this, what will come? It is the formula of a compound which gives exact number of the atoms of the various elements present in one molecule of the compound. This is the meaning of this. From here you will get only simple ratio, as we have seen the example. From here you will get the exact number. Let's consider that example in which molecular and empirical formula is same. See, from ammonia we can't take out anything. So this is only the empirical formula and this is also the molecular formula. Both are same because ratio is 1:3 and this is only the exact number of the elements present in the compound. Fine. Now let's find out the relationship between the two. If suppose empirical formula is given, then how to calculate molecular formula. If molecular formula is given, then how to calculate the empirical formula. Fine. So let's see. Now if you have seen from the examples, can you conclude one thing? That how they both are connected? They both are connected with the one integer that we have taken common. For example, let's consider the benzene one. Okay, this is the molecular formula and this is the empirical formula. For glucose, this is the molecular formula, this is the empirical formula. Hydrogen peroxide, this is the molecular formula, empirical formula. So how they all are connected? Here the, say they are interconnected with the integer 6. Yes. So let's say they all are connected. Let's say that integer is n. Let integer be n. So here the value of n is 6. Here the value of n is 6. Here the value of n is 2. Yes? If you will multiply this formula with this, you will get the molecular formula. If you multiply 6 with this, you will get this formula. If you multiply 2 with this, you will get this formula. Are you getting? So how they are connected? They are connected with an integral multiple factor. Okay, which is n here. Okay. So here, how what we can write? Molecular formula is an integral multiple of empirical formula. So n into empirical formula. So in this form they are related to each other. If we want to calculate n, value of n, then we should know the molecular formula and empirical formula masses. Okay. Molecular formula divided by empirical formula. This is also one of the formula. So this is important here. Both the formulas are important. Fine. So this is about what is empirical formula and what is molecular formula. Okay. Now we will learn that how to calculate the empirical formula for compound. So there is a, you can say for that steps are there. So that we will see in the next video. Fine. Till then, thank you and have a nice day.